Hi, my name is Claire. Welcome back to my channel. For this week's video, I'm going to be doing a futuristic cyberpunk inspired home in The Sims 4. So at the beginning of this year, I made a futuristic penthouse that has elements of the cyberpunk design, and I wanted to do a home with this aesthetic. It is halfway through the year of 2026, and since I did a futuristic build for my first video of the year, I thought I would kind of come revisit this idea because I did like doing this penthouse at the beginning of the year, and it's been 6 months, so I thought it's enough time to come and revisit this style of homes and kind of take us into the future a little bit. So this home does have a large front porch. I did want to give the front porch some privacy, and so I'm going to be using these light curtains that came with the high school years expansion pack. If you're curious about all of the packs I am using in this build, I did try to keep it pack limited, but I was a little bit all over the place when it did come with packs in this build particular, so check the description for all of the packs will be listed there. And if you haven't yet, make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button. I do want to say a big thank you to 160 subscribers. That means so much to me. I can't really describe, and this is how I feel. I just gotta say thank you to those who are supporting me here on YouTube. It's been a slow journey, but I have enjoyed my time here on YouTube. So now we are going to be working on the interior of the house, and we're going to be working on kind of like the entryway. This home is unique where the kitchen is on the second level, and then the bedrooms are on the first level. We're first going to be working on the entryway still and going to be kind of like figuring out how I want this area to be laid out. I wanted to have a lot of like brutalist and like kind of like more hard lined furniture in this space, and now we're just going to be finding some details to go on the drop zone table. I did keep it simple with just a plant, and now we're going to be working on the sunken living room slash media area. So this is the living room of the house. I thought it'd be fun to have this kind of be sunken down. It kind of reminds me of my retro futuristic home I did not too long ago. It was inspired by the Fantastic Four movie, and I wanted to have a sunken living room in this house as well. So we're just going to be kind of editing a little bit. I wanted this space to feel more intimate and a little cozy, and so we kind of have a smaller space in this area for the living room. I feel like this home does have a lot of conversation spots, a lot of like seating area, so we're just going to be adding some of these side tables that have lights in them, which I find is really cool. And I try to incorporate lights a lot in the floor as well. I was trying to make this home go well with the penthouse I did at the beginning of the year. So if you have seen that video, you would hopefully see some similarities to this build. If you haven't seen that build yet, you can go watch it after this video. So we're just going to be making a little like zone with the lights, kind of like it helped like separate the space. So we're just going to be doing a little bit of adjusting and going to be heading into the plant catalog to liven up the space with some greenery. I do also add a tablet. I would normally put a stack of books there where the tablet is, but instead I wanted it to be a tablet because that just seemed more futuristic to have a tablet than some books. Old books as in like this is a futuristic home. And now we are just going to be adding a cozy little basket with a blanket coming out of it. Like I said, I did want this to be a cozy and intimate space in this living room, and so now we're just going to be adding some greenery with these plants that came with the base game. We're just going to be doing a little bit of rearranging, not too much. It's just once I added these plants, it really did shrink the space of the living room, and I did want to make sure that there was a TV since this is the living room, and so I did place a TV over the window. In my mind, it's just kind of more of a projection of a TV. It's not like actually there, or like when it's like off, it's like disappeared. So we're just going to be working kind of back on the main level entryway and going to just be adding a very simple table from the Eco Lifestyle, and the plant is from the Spa Day pack, and we're just going to be finding some artwork, but I couldn't really find anything, so later I add a fireplace to the entryway. It's kind of the very end of the video, so we're just going to be finishing up the living room. I do have a gaming console here in the living room because I'm also going to be using the CD Living expansion pack for this build, and you will see me add a lot of lights throughout this home. Right now we're just on the back porch, just adding another seating area with a little fire pit. That's not actually a fire pit, but has like flames coming out of the center of it. So we're just going to be going outside quickly. I was in like kind of like a living room conversation area mindset, and so I just wanted to get that outside area done really quick. But now we are in the hallway that leads to the two bedrooms and the half bath. I was going to add a rug to kind of like hone in this space, but instead I decided to use these lights to kind of act as a rug. So we're just going to be changing the colors to make it more rug-like, and going to be adding a picture. I feel like having wall decorations in this house was the hardest part because it's like of the theme, and now we're just going to be quickly working on the half bath. So this is like technically like a guest bathroom, so if you're having a dinner party, your Sims will have to come down to the first floor to use the bathroom, but if they're having a movie night, it's very convenient. I guess you have to go like up the stairs since the only TV is the living room, but we are now going to be adding some more artwork. And again, this part was like hard, and I'm like, you know what, if I can't find artwork, I'm just going to add more of these like floor to ceiling lights. So now we are in the office space that could be turned into a third bedroom if you desire. I wanted to make this into an office space because it is at the front of the house, and I don't really like when bedrooms are in the front of the house, especially when they're on the first floor and it's like right off of the patio and right off of the front entryway. It just seemed a little bit like not private. So we're just going to be adding a computer and a gaming spot, and going to be also adding a video making station. I don't remember like the actual name, but it came with the Get Famous expansion pack, and your Sims can like become internet famous on in The Sims by making videos and like product reviews. So I was thinking that's like how everybody's making their money in the future, and so I wanted to add the own video making station, and I did also want to add the cool like video game hub that like it's like a 3D or virtual reality cube, and your Sims can like play games. I had a tutorial, not tutorial, but I have a picture in my penthouse video of the Sims using it. So if you can't really picture what I'm saying, you can go back to watch that video, and we're just going to be adding some more fun light sources into this room. Again, that kind of helps goes with the cyberpunk feel of this build, and you'll see at the end of the video during the screenshots that I changed some of the lights to be different colors, and if you don't like the colors I chose, you can easily change the colors back to the color you desire or just have it all be white. But now we are in the primary bedroom. I'm going to be using the bed from the Eco Lifestyle pack, as well as the dresser. I was mentioning that this would be the primary suite or the bedroom for the parents, and we're just going to be adding some side tables. I wanted to go for more of a light, bright bedroom because in my penthouse video I went for a more dark and moody bedroom. So we're just going to be adding some artwork. This was a pretty simple bedroom to design for, and we're just going to be adding a rug and going to be adding some lights to kind of act as like an extension of the headboard behind the bed. But before we do that, we're going to be adding some curtains and going to be adding this cool funky light from the city living pack. But here is that like light bedboard extension I am talking about, and I do use some of these little lights to kind of like almost act as like carpentry detail. So we're just going to be adding a little plant in the corner. Again, this bedroom was pretty simple to design for, and just gonna be adding a few things onto the dresser. And now we're just going to be finding some items to place on the side tables. I was going to go for lamps, but having a lot of light on the headboard, I decided to go for a plant and some tissues and some pictures for the side tables. And now we are in the primary suite. So this is the larger of the two en-suites. Both bedrooms have a ensuite, but this one is bigger, and that's kind of also why I was imagining that this bedroom would be for the parents or would be the primary bedroom. We're just going to be adding these mirrors with light that come from the top, but I do also add more of the floor to ceiling lights to either side of the mirror, and we're just going to be adding a rug and going to be adding just all the bathroom little essentials. And this area was also pretty simple to design for. It was just kind of like, where do I put the puzzle pieces to make this bathroom have a nice flow? So we're just going to be now in the teenager's bedroom, and this bedroom is a little bit darker in color tones, especially compared to the nice light and bright primary suite. But I wanted to go for a musician in this room, and I'm also going to be using the little like DJ mix station that came with the Get Famous pack, and that just looks like a whole bunch of like future technology all on one table, and so I felt like that fit in pretty well to this theme of a futuristic home. And we're just going to be adding a dresser and going to be also adding a mirror. And since this is for a teenager, I decided to add a pile of unfolded, possibly dirty laundry next to the dresser. And I did want to have a tablet in this room, kind of for the same purpose of the tablets by the living room. It's like I would have a stack of books there normally, but I feel like books are probably far and few in between in a cyberpunk futuristic world, and so having a tablet is just kind of more fitting with the theme. So we're just going to be adding some posters. I did try to mostly use the high school years expansion pack for this room, and we're just going to be adding some more light features into this room. And I do also add another window because I was kind of like running out of ideas of like what to put where. So now we are in the ensuite to the teenagers bathroom, and it's a smaller bathroom compared to the ensuite of the primary, but it is my favorite orientation, my favorite size of bathroom. If you're new to my channel, I really like doing 2x3 bathrooms. It's a 6-room tile, and we're just going to be adding some of the bathroom essentials in here, like a hand towel, soap, and a toothbrush cup. And now we're just going to be adding some rugs to kind of help define the zones. So there's the sleeping area, and then there's the DJ mix area. But now we are on the second floor, and we're going to be starting off with the dining room. And wanted to have the dining room kind of like in this like sunroom area. There's windows on like three of the walls, and we're just going to be finding the most futuristic chairs, and I decided to have them be more of captain chairs, and then I used these chairs from the spa day pack just to help give a little bit more variety of like textures in this space. And we're just going to be adding a rug to just kind of help hone in and define this space. So now we're just going to be finishing up the dining room and going to be adding a little salt and pepper shaker on the center of the table. And I kind of skipped over this, but I wanted to focus on the dining room first. But now we're here back at the landing spot of the second level, and going to be having a little seating area, and then to the right of the seating area is floor to ceiling windows of the garage or launch slash landing pad for the flying cars. I did that in my penthouse, and I wanted to have flying cars in this home as well. So we're just going to be imagining that the flying cars like have like these gates that like open and close when a car is going to take off. And if you don't want a flying car or two flying cars, you can easily close off this space, and then it can be like a home gym for the home. I just wanted to have like flying cars. These cars from Debug are very futuristic, and so it really helped with the theme of this futuristic home. But now we are in the kitchen of the home, and that is a door to get to the flying cars, and so I felt like it made sense to have the kitchen right next to the carport for the cars. So that is why the kitchen and the dining room are up here on the second floor. We are just going to be adding a nice long island, and I do add some seating into the island for more of a casual dining, or possibly for like breakfast. It's just like a meal for the Sims in the house, and then the dining room's like probably more for like the dinner parties or family events. And we're just going to be making a little drink station over here in the corner, and going to be adding just a little bit of decoration and clutter into the kitchen. I did want to have like the floating range hood because of safety. Now we're going to be adding some seating into the island. Like I said earlier, I was mentioning that this was more of a family space, or more like a quick breakfast before the Sims go off to work and school in their flying cars, even though that's not actually possible, because your Sims are just going to go to the first level and then go to the sidewalk and disappear, because that is how it works in The Sims. But now we are going to be heading outside to the backyard, and we're going to be finishing up this video here. So we're just going to be adding a hot tub and going to be adding a telescope, and then I just added a few little like vertical planter boxes because I didn't really know what else to add back here. There's not really like futuristic backyard items or nothing I really felt like were like futuristic enough. And so I do have lights back here. They kind of act more of a fence. I was mentioning that they're like a invisible force field to keep everything in the yard or keep everything out of the yard. But we are now getting close to the screenshots of the video. So I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. If you have any build suggestions for me, make sure to leave them down in the comments. I post new videos every single Tuesday, and I hope to see y'all next week. Bye!